Guten Abend allerseits.
Let us open with a prayer.
Lasst uns mit Gebet öffnen. Lieber himmlischer Vater,
thank you, Lord, that we can gather here together now.
danke Herr, dass wir hier zusammen versammeln können.
I pray that you please be with us during this hour of study.
Und ich bete, dass du jetzt mit uns seist während dieser Stunde des Studiums.
And I pray that you guide our thoughts and that you help that our minds might be concentrated on the topic.
Und bitte leite unsere Gedanken und hilft uns, dass unsere Gedanken bei dem Thema bleiben.
And I pray that you please bless the rest of this evening and everyone watching the live stream.
Bitte segne der Rest dieses Abends und bitte auch segne diejenigen, die bei dem Livestream zuschauen.
In the name of Jesus.
Im Namen Jesu. Amen.
Let us turn to Matthew 5.
So, wir gehen zu Matthäus Kapitel 5.
And this is the Sermon on the Mount.
Das hier ist der Bergpredigt.
Alright. And maybe let's read until verse. Let us read through the whole chapter first.
So, wir werden zuerst durch den Kapitel durchlesen.
Let us read 3 verses each.
Jeweils 3 Versen lesen.
And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you, falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Ye are the salt of the earth, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is henceforth good for nothing but to cast out and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house.
Let your light so shine for men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled.
Whosoever therefore shall break one of these commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. For I say unto you that except except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment.
But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment, and whosoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, Thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy God has been. Leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift.
Agree with thine adversary quickly whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. You have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart. And if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body should be cast into hell.
It hath been said, Whoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement. But I say unto you that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causes her to commit adultery. And whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time, Thou shalt not forswear thyself, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne,
nor by the earth, for it is his footstool, neither by Jerusalem, for it is the city of the great King. Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
But let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, for whatsoever is more than this cometh of evil. Ye have heard that it hath been said, An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on thy right cheek, turn to him the other also.
And if any man will sue thee at the law, and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also. And whosoever shall compel thee to go a mile, go with him twain. Give to him that asketh thee, and from him that would borrow, turn not away.
Ye have heard that it hath been said, Thou shalt love thy neighbor, and hate thine enemy. But I say unto you, love your enemies, but bless them that curse you, do good to them that hate you, pray for them which despitefully use you, and persecute you, that ye may be the children of your Father which is in heaven. For he maketh his sun to rise on the evil and on the good, and sendeth rain on the just and on the unjust.
For if you love them which love you, what reward have ye? Do not even the publicans the same? And if you salute your brethren only, what do ye more than others? Do not even the publicans so? Be therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect.
Alright, so that's very important words, right?
Also die sind sehr wichtige Wörter.
We many times forget them.
Öfters vergessen wir sie.
And if we look at this now from a prophetic point of view,
Und jetzt, wenn wir das aus einer prophetischen Sicht anschauen,
where would we mark Jesus standing here?
wo würden wir Jesus hier markieren?
Well, he's pronouncing the blessing and the curses.
Yes.
Also er proklamiert Segen und Flüche.
So Moses, it's basically a parallel to Moses. Moses was giving the blessings and the cursings just prior to going in to the land on the borders of Canaan.
Yes.
So, das ist eine Parallele zu Mose, der hat die Flüche und Segen proklamiert,
Okay.
kurz bevor die in das Land hineingingen.
Let's keep your finger here and let's go there.
Also haltet den Platz hier.
Deuteronomy 27.
Yes.
Dann gehen wir zu 5. Buch Mose 27.
Maybe you can read the first 3 verses and then let's read verse 10 to 13 also.
Also die ersten 3 Versen und dann Versen 10 bis 13.
Who's telling it?
If there be a controversy between man and
No, Deuteronomy 27.
yes, 25.
27.
Deuteronomy 27, verse 1 to 3.
And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. And it shall be on the day when ye shall pass over Jordan unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, that thou shalt set thee up great stones and plaster them with plaster, and thou shalt write upon them all the words of this law when thou art passed over, that thou mayest go in unto the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee, a land that floweth with milk and honey, as the Lord God of thy fathers hath promised thee.
Yes, okay, so they're just about to enter the glorious land, right?
Also die stehen kurz davor, in das herrliche Land hineinzugehen.
So, and where would this be on our line?
Wo würde das sein auf unserer
Where we
Linie?
are right now, just before midnight.
Yes, okay.
Also wo
So.
wir gerade stehen jetzt.
Because in one sense we enter into the land here at midnight, right?
Also im gewissen Sinne, wir gehen in das Land hier hinein am Mitternacht.
I mean, in perfect sense we enter into the land here at the 9th hour.
Also an 9. Stunde ist es perfekt erfüllt.
At the Sunday. When everybody's gone through.
Yeah, yes, okay.
Also
Yes.
am zivilen Sonntag gesetzt, aber am 9. Stunde für die erste Gruppe.
I mean, here's the first group that in a sense passed the test, right? And you cross the chasm, so, but this is where you eventually will receive it. But the question is whether the first group already gets the promise here, right?
Aber
Whether
die
they-
Frage ist, erhalten die erste Gruppe hier an der 9. Stunde schon die Verheißung?
I mean, they receive the promise, but is it the physical, obtaining of the land? That's
Also die erhalten die Verheißung wohl, aber ist es das physische Erhalten des Landes?
or is it
Diese
here when everybody passed through? That's the question.
Oder ist es an der zivile Sonntagsgesetz, wenn alle da hindurchgegangen sind? Das ist die Frage.
Okay. Anyways, but we understand. I think Brother Fiora, he showed it, right? That at every little time of peace, you enter into the land. Right?
Also Bruder Fjodor hat das bereits gezeigt, dass an jeder Zeit des Friedens, kleine Zeit des Friedens, du gehst in das Land hinein.
So in this sense, the Lord, just before you enter the land, what is He reminding you of?
So der Herr, gerade bevor du in das Land hineingehst, woran erinnert dich?
Sister White says you have nothing to fear for the future unless you forget the past. John is standing there and he's looking. It's the same principle.
So Ellen White sagt, es ist nicht zu fürchten vor die Zukunft, es sei denn, dass man die Vergangenheit vergisst. Und Johannes steht hier und schaut in die Vergangenheit. Es ist dasselbe Prinzip.
He's saying, don't forget what happened in this time period.
Er sagt, vergisst nichts, was hier in dieser Zeitperiode mit euch geschehen ist.
So basically, when you now enter into the land, you are tested whether you remember what happened or whether you forget it.
Also wenn du in das Land hineinkommst, du wirst getestet, ob du daran erinnerst oder vergessen hast.
Okay, because in this sense it's a time of prosperity, right?
Denn in diesem Sinne, das hier ist eine Zeit des Wohlstands.
So the little time of peace is where the Lord blesses you, where He gives you this plenty and this fatness of the land.
Die kleine Zeit des Friedens ist der Zeit, wo der Herr dich segnet. Er gibt dich das Fett des Landes.
7 years of plenty.
Die 7 Jahre von Überfluss.
Moses was 120 years old at that point.
Mose war gerade an dieser Stelle 120 Jahre alt.
Because that's at the end, you know, they have been just 40 years in the wilderness. When he was 120, and you have Noah who builds the ark for
Told to get on
120
the
years,
ark right there.
and
Also das
tells
war-
them basically to get on the ark.
Das war am Ende 120 Jahre nach den 40 Jahren durch die Wüste wandeln und Noah auch war 120, als ihm befohlen worden ist, auf die Arche zu gehen.
So he
Oh, no.
built the ark for 120 years and then he went on the ark.
Also Noah baute den Arche für 120 Jahre und dann war ihm befohlen, auf die Arche zu gehen.
Yes. And this is the end, going on the ark this time here.
Und das hier ist die Zeit, wo wir auf die Arche gehen.
Okay. And then you are 7 days in
Und
the
dann
ark.
bist du 7 Tage danach auf die Arche.
Okay, so because we read now in these first 3 verses that they were to write down the law on these stones, right?
Wir haben gerade gelesen in die ersten 3 Versen, dass sie das Gesetz niederschreiben sollen auf diesen Stein,
After they passed over the Jordan.
nachdem sie über das Jordan überquerten.
Okay, so it's clearly, the Lord clearly wants to already tell us that this will be this great test, whether we forget God or whether we remember Him.
Und der Herr möchte uns zu denken gegeben, also so erinnern, ob wir in dieser Zeit an ihm gedenken oder ihm vergessen werden.
Okay, so now let's go down to verses 10 to 13.
Und jetzt gehen wir zu den Versen 10 bis 13.
So,
Sorry, just on that thought.
Yes.
What's nice is that's the baptism of Christ right there, right?
Also
Yes.
hier ist die Taufe Christi markiert.
And he went in the wilderness for 40 days, and at the end of it, Satan came and tested him, right?
Ging in die Wüste 40 Tage und am Ende Satan kam herab und hat ihn getestet.
And it's a parallel of them in the wilderness, because they were being tested, whether they were keeping the law, and at the end of it, maybe, it doesn't matter, it's maybe another thought, but I just think that the beginning and the end, you both showed it. Doesn't matter. Sorry, I don't want to detract, but
you mean at the end there's this rebellion, or what do you mean?
Yes, because you see this 40, because it's, doesn't matter, I'll give it more
No,
thought before.
we first have to establish that in this little time of pieces.
Well, you've got what I'm saying, you've got the baptism to where Satan comes down, it's definitely there, right?
Also in dieser Zeit hier haben wir die Taufe Christi und hier haben wir Satan, der herabkommt. Und das würde dann zumindest eine Grundlage geben, dass hier die 40, wenn Christus getauft ist, er geht 40 Tage in die Wüste. Also das wäre dann hier zumindest ein Beweis dafür, dass hier eine Wüste-Erfahrung ist. Oder eine Wüste ist.
Alright, yeah. Okay, so let's read now the verses 10 to 13, please.
Jetzt die Verse 10 bis 13.
10 and 13.
Thou shalt therefore obey the voice of the Lord thy God, and do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. And Moses charged the people the same day, saying, These shall stand upon Mount Gerizim, to bless the people when they are come over Jordan, Simeon and Levi, and Judah and Issachar and Joseph, Benjamin, and these shall stand upon Mount Ebal to curse, Reuben, Gad, Asher, and Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali.
Okay, so there you have the blessings and the curses mentioned, right?
Also da haben wir die Segen und die Flüche erwähnt.
And when you now go, and let's read verse 14 and 15.
Und wenn wir jetzt die Verse 14 und 15 lesen,
Okay.
Cursed be the man that maketh any graven or molten image, an abomination unto the Lord, work of the hands of the craftsman, and putteth it in a secret place. And all the people shall answer and say Amen.
Yes. Okay, so what is one of the curses here?
So was ist eine von den Fluchen hier?
If you hide any idols in your heart,
Yes, exactly.
Also
Okay.
wenn du Götzen in deinem Herz versteckst.
So in what does it? What?
secret sins.
Yes,
Das ist
because
geheime Sünden.
it means you put it in a secret place, right?
Hier steht, man tut es in einem geheimen Ort.
The secret place is our heart.
Das geheime Ort, das ist unserem Herz.
So if you make these molten images in your heart in this time here,
Also wenn du diese Götzen, also diese geschmiedene Götzen in deinem Herzen hier in diese Zeitperiode hegst,
then you will manifest it here, right?
dann wirst du es hier manifestieren.
Because what excludes you from the foot washing?
So, was schließt dich von Teilnahme an den Fußwaschung aus?
Open sin.
Offene
Right?
Sünde.
But when you come to the refuge city,
Aber wenn du zum Zufluchtsstadt ankommst,
what must you there confess?
was musst du da bekennen?
Well, they confess that they have unintentionally murdered someone.
Yes.
Die
Okay.
bekennen, dass sie unabsichtlich jemand ermordet hat.
So if you commit unintentional murder, what does it mean? What does it represent?
Also wenn du unabsichtliches Mord begangen hast, was bedeutet das? Was stellt es dar?
You put Christ on the cross, something's been revealed to you.
Yeah, you put Christ on the cross,
Also du
But-
hast Christus gekreuzigt, ja.
but how do you crucify Christ?
Aber wie kreuzigst du Christus?
Ignorantly.
Yes, ignorant sins, right?
Also unabsichtlich, also in Ignoranz.
So if you have any intentional sins here, willful sins,
Also wenn du absichtliche oder willige sündigst hier,
then you cannot enter the city, right?
kannst du in den Stadt nicht reinkommen.
So therefore here is no open sin allowed,
So hier keine offene Sünde ist erlaubt,
but here is no known sin allowed whatsoever.
aber
Okay?
hier ist keine bewusste Sünde überhaupt erlaubt.
So no secret sin that is known to you is allowed here.
So keine geheime Sünden, die dir bekannt wird hier erlaubt.
Because everything that is known to you, that is a secret, will be manifested here.
Denn alles, was dir bekannt ist, was ein Geheimnis für dich ist, wird hier geoffenbart.
Yeah. No open sin, no secrets.
Yes, exactly.
Keine offene Sünde, keine geheime Sünde.
So therefore, that's how the Lord wants to cut us off sinning, step by step in a sense. Okay.
So möchte der Herr uns von der Sünde Schritt für Schritt abschneiden.
So no known open sin and no known secret sin.
Also keine bekannte offene Sünde und keine bekannte geheime Sünde.
Okay, everybody can follow?
Kann jeder folgen?
Right. So, when we go back to Matthew 5,
Gehen wir zurück zu Matthäus Kapitel 5.
so, I mean, I'm not 100% definite, but I'm pretty sure that Jesus is standing here at the beginning of this little time of peace, in the sense that he's now instructing you about what is to come.
Also ich bin mir nicht hundertprozentig sicher, aber relativ sicher bin ich, dass Jesus steht hier und unterweist du gerade, was hier in die Zukunft kommen wird.
Like John.
Yes.
Also wie steht da wie Johannes.
And also in this foot washing, he gives this good and comfortable words, right? And he gives them special instructions, as the word says.
So auch während dieser Fußwaschung, er gibt dir diese angenehme Wörter und besondere Unterweisung, sagt uns Ellen White.
Because he basically he prepares you here for this time of persecution.
Denn er bereitet dich hier in diese Zeit vor, auf diese kommende Zeit der Verfolgung.
Because for instance in verse 12 or verse 11,
Denn zum Beispiel in Vers 11,
or actually it begins already verse 10, it says, Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So where else did Jesus speak about these things?
so wo hat Jesus noch über solche Sachen gesprochen?
What do you mean, where else?
Where else did he say basically this exact same thing?
So, wo hat er ein weiteres Mal quasi dasselbe gesagt?
John 15.
Also Johannes 15.
So keep your finger in Matthew, let's go to John 15.
So, haltet den Platz hier und geht zu Johannes 15.
Let's read verse 18 to 21.
Wir lesen die Versen 18 bis
Or
21
until 20 we can read.
oder bis 20.
Okay. It says, If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. And if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. But all these things, also verse 21, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me.
Bis 21.
So, where's Jesus on our line speaking these words?
So, wo steht Jesus auf unserer Linie und spricht diese Wörter?
Same place, he's talking about what's coming.
Yes,
He's
he's in the little time of peace, right? This is,
He's instructing you.
yes, that's John 13, 14, 15, 16 and 17,
Das
right?
ist Johannes 13, 14, 15, 16 und 17. Es ist diese bequeme oder diese angenehme Wörter in diese kleine Zeit des Friedens.
That's this time of the foot washing,
Zeit des Fußwaschens.
and he now tells you what is ahead of you.
Und er sagt, was dir vorliegt.
Okay, so it's in the sense, that's why I would think it's the same place where he's on the mount and where he's now here standing. Okay.
So, deswegen ist es derselbe Ort, wo er auf dem Berg steht und wo er auch hier steht.
And then he obviously also says here in chapter 16,
Und in Kapitel 16,
verse 1 to 3,
die ersten 3 Versen.
These things have I spoken unto you, that ye should not be offended. They shall put you out of the synagogues, yea, the time cometh, that whosoever killeth you will think that he doeth God's service. And these things will they do unto you, because they have not known the Father nor me. So where are we going to be put to death?
So, wo werden wir den Tote überliefert?
In the midnight cry.
Am
Right?
Mitternachtsruf.
So he's just telling you these things just before that.
So, er erklärt diese Dinge kurz davor.
And then verse 4.
Vers 4.
But these things have I told you, that when the time shall come, ye may remember that I told you of them. And these things said I not unto you at the beginning, because I was with you. So where didn't Jesus tell these things?
So, wo hat Jesus diese Sachen nicht gesagt? When he was not with them.
At the beginning, right?
Also am Anfang.
So Jesus didn't tell them here at the beginning.
So, Jesus hat hier am Anfang sie nicht erzählt.
So therefore, you cannot place where Jesus is standing here at the beginning, right?
Deswegen, du kannst Jesus hier nicht am Anfang markieren.
But he's now here just before it comes to pass, and he's now telling you these things.
Aber er ist hier, gerade kurz bevor es zustande kommt, und er erklärt diese Dinge.
Okay, so therefore, when we go back to Matthew chapter 5,
So, deswegen, wenn wir jetzt zu Matthäus 5 zurückgehen,
can everybody follow along?
kann jeder soweit folgen?
So basically, the Lord is pronouncing all these blessings upon you, in a sense, in this time period, when you fulfill what he says you should do. Okay.
So der Herr bekennt diese ganzen Segnungen auf dir, auf diese Zeit hin, wo du hier das tun sollst, was er sagt.
Okay, so let's just look at what our experience will be in this time here at the midnight cry.
So lasst uns schauen, was unsere Erfahrung sein wird hier am Mitternachtsruf.
So let's read verse 3.
Vers 3.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. So, what does it tell us already?
So was sagt uns das? We're going to be poor in spirit.
Yes, we're going to be poor in spirit.
Wir werden
Okay.
arm geistlich gesehen.
So, in this sense, I don't know fully what this means, okay?
Also ich weiß nicht völlig, wie das heißt
Was das bedeutet.
oder was das bedeutet.
Ja.
Okay.
But definitely means that you won't be boasting here around, okay?
Aber es heißt auf jeden Fall, dass du hier nicht rumprallen wirst.
But you will be like Job, right? Afflicted and poor and low.
Du wirst wie Hiob sein, du wirst arm und du wirst angefochten sein und du wirst niedrig.
So you're this poor one.
Du bist dieser Arme.
Okay. Then verse 4.
Vers 4.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. So, do we have a mourning experience here?
So haben wir eine Erfahrung des Wehklagens hier drinnen.
Sighing and crying for all the abominations.
Yes, exactly. So, who was mourning in here?
So wer hat hier gewehklagt?
Mark already mentioned one example, but
Ein Beispiel, diejenigen,
Mordecai.
die
Yes.
heulen und klagen für alle Gräueltaten, die in der Gemeinde stattfinden. Aber dann ein weiteres Beispiel ist Mordecai.
So, you're poor in spirit.
Also arm im Geist.
You will have a mourning experience.
Du wirst eine Erfahrung des Wehklagens haben.
What else? Verse
Was
5.
noch? Vers 5.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. So what kind of spirit are you to manifest here?
So, was für ein Geist sollst du hier manifestieren?
Like a little child.
Yes.
Wie ein
Okay.
kleines Kind.
What does it mean to be meek?
I'd like to know in German.
It means to be humble.
Sanftmütig.
Ach, sanftmütig, okay. Also, was heißt es, sanftmütig zu sein?
Like humble.
Es ist wie demütig sein.
Yes. And to be not, I think it's the opposite of being harsh, right?
Ich glaube, es ist das Gegenteil von streng sein.
Harsh. Harsh is also the same.
Is it the same in German?
Yes.
Okay. Harsh.
Okay. So we are to be very meek, even though they will revile us and persecute us and all these things. Okay.
Wir sollen sehr sanftmütig sein, obwohl sie uns anfechten werden und alles Mögliche uns antun werden.
So blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. So, what kind of experience is this?
Also Vers 6. Was für eine Erfahrung ist das?
Yes, exactly.
Fortunate prayer.
Yes, it's Daniel, right?
Das ist Daniel.
So Daniel and his 3 friends, they pray for their life because their life depended upon this revelation. Right?
Daniel und seine 3 Freunde, die beteten um ihrem Leben, denn ihrem Leben hängen von der Offenbarung dieses Träumes ab.
Have you ever thought about it, that the revelation out of God's word will save your life?
Hast du je darüber nachgedacht, dass eine Offenbarung aus Gottes Wort wird dein Leben retten?
Have you ever studied the Bible thinking that your very life depends upon it?
Hast du je die Bibel so studiert, dass du daran gedacht hast, dass dein Leben davon abhängt?
Okay, because this is just the manifestation of this reality that our lives depend upon the revelation of God's word.
Das ist nur eine Manifestation der Realität, dass unser Leben von einer Manifestation, von einer Offenbarung Gottes Wortes abhängt.
And it says in James that you have to receive with meekness the engrafted word which is able to save your soul.
Es steht in Jakobus, du sollst mit Sanftmütigkeit der eingegrabene Wort erhalten, die deine Seele rettet.
So here you must hunger and thirst after righteousness.
So hier sollen wir hungern und dürsten nach Gerechtigkeit.
And who is our righteousness?
Wer ist unsere Gerechtigkeit?
The seed.
Yes.
Der Same.
Yeah. It's Christ, it's the word, right? It's this promise that is promised to you.
Christus, das Wort, diese Verheißung, die uns hier verheißen ist.
That you have this born again experience that Christ is fully reflected in you.
Dass wir diese neugeborene Erfahrung haben können, dass Christus völlig in uns wiedergespiegelt wird.
He says, fill up the water pots,
So Christus sagt, fülle diese Wasserkrüge auf.
which is, which is just before, will happen at the midnight cry actually, right, but it's interesting because we have the marriage of Cana in the middle, right?
Der Hochzeit zu Kana gerade hier markiert ist. Worship point, oder?
I mean, this marriage of Cana, we really have to look at this. It's difficult.
Also diese Hochzeit von Kana müssen wir noch näher
No,
anschauen.
because if you go to the foundation above,
Wenn du zum Fundament hier gehst,
you've got A.T. Jones there, right?
hier haben wir A.T. Jones, der vor der Senat war.
Standing before the Senate committee, right?
Er steht vor dem Senatausschuss.
And when they got this spirit that he gave them, they immediately gave it to the king's rulers and government, right?
Und als sie diesen Spirit,
It's the wine.
also wenn sie diesen Wein erhalten haben, die haben es sofort der Könige und der Gouverneure überreicht.
I'm sure there's a quote tomorrow morning I'll talk about it. It tells me to get the new wine in this time period.
Also es gibt da ein Zitat und ich rede darüber morgen, aber ich glaube, du erhältst das neue Wein in diese Zeitperiode hier.
We read that yesterday.
Wir haben das gestern gelesen.
Something to do with the plenty. There was a verse where it puts it together with the plenty, the new wine.
Isn't it in Joel?
Maybe.
Also ein Vers, der das in Zusammenhang bringt mit der Überfluss.
Ja,
Vielleicht ist das in Joel Kapitel 2.
Let's quickly go there. Keep your thing in Matthew.
So haltet den Platz hier und lass uns zu Joel gehen.
Because this was Connor was asking whether, there's any sort of public evangelistic things being done in this time period. The fact is, the world is getting agitated by this. The church is also coming at this time, so you've got all these things going on.
Okay, so
Sorry, Joel.
it's not. No?
Ye shall eat in plenty, Joel 2:26.
No, that's not the verse. It says it's something with plenty and new wine in one verse. I will find
I mean, in verse 19 it speaks about.
Wine in the corn and the fat of the land.
I mean, in verse 19 it says, "Yea, the Lord will answer and say unto his people, Behold, I will send you corn and wine and oil, and ye shall be satisfied therewith.
And it's the latter rain.
And I will no more make you a
23.
reproach among the heathens."
So Vers 19 und Vers 22.
Was?
Genesis 27, verse 28.
Genesis
Oh, we
27.
read this last night.
Maybe it was there, yes.
Genesis
It
26.
says plenty and new wine. Just these two words.
Also es steht hier Überfluss und neue Wein
Okay,
zusammen.
you want to read this, Daniel?
Therefore God give thee of the dew of heaven and fatness of earth and plenty of corn and wine.
It's not the verse.
Okay, so, but I don't know. Maybe we'll find it, maybe not. But we looked it up yesterday. Okay.
So vielleicht werden wir das finden, vielleicht nicht, aber gestern haben wir jedenfalls gesehen.
All right. So let's go back to Matthew 5.
I have a point.
Zurück zu Matthäus 5.
Then make your point.
Proverbs 3 verse 10.
Also Sprüche 3, Vers 10.
So shall thy barn be filled with plenty, and thy press shall burst out with new wine. But that's not the point I want to make.
Yes. Okay. What's your point?
My point is in Luke 16,
Also in Lukas 16,
verse 20 and 21.
Lukas 16, Verse 20 und 21.
Says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate, full of sores and desiring to be fed with the crumbs. So Lazarus desires to be fed, right? He's hungry and thirsty.
Yes.
And when he's fed, you know, the point where he's fed, he's in Abraham's bosom, which is the righteousness of Christ as a seed.
Also Lazarus steht hier und begehrt zu essen, selbst die Krümmeln. Und wenn er gespeist wird, das markiert der Punkt, wo er in den Schoß von Abraham liegt, und das ist die Gerechtigkeit.
So he's at the 9th hour, right?
So an der 9. Stunde.
Yeah, it says
Cross the
because it
chasm,
says
the gulf.
the beggar died, so he dies at the beginning. That's his birth, and he's in Lazarus' bosom.
Also der Bettler stirbt, das ist am Anfang, und dann
Carried by angels.
Yes, and he's over the gulf, right?
er wird von Engeln getragen zu den Schoß von Abraham, der ist über den Kluft getragen. Und
Okay, Philip? What's your point?
That was my point.
Okay, thanks. Alright, let's turn back to Matthew 5.
so zurück zu Matthäus 5.
Then we are in verse 7.
Und wir jetzt in Vers 7.
It says, Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Okay, so what kind of spirit do you need? Not only a spirit of meekness, but also of?
So nicht nur ein Geist der Sanftmütigkeit, sondern auch diese
Mercy. Okay.
so hier gnädig oder Barmherzigkeit.
So what does this incorporate?
Was beinhaltet das? We forgive.
Yes, forgiveness.
Dass
Okay.
wir unsere Feinde vergeben.
That we have this forgiving spirit.
Dass wir eine vergebende Haltung oder Geist haben.
Okay. So because they will do terrible things to you.
Denn die werden schreckliche Dinge uns antun.
We must forgive them because what did Christ pray?
Wir müssen sie vergeben, denn was betete Christus? They know not what they're doing.
Yes, forgive them for they know not what they do.
Also vergib ihnen, denn die wissen nicht, was sie tun.
Okay. Verse 8.
Vers 8.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Okay, so what does it mean to be pure in heart?
So was heißt es, reines Herzen zu sein?
Maybe we can go to Psalms either 66 or 62.
Jetzt gehen wir zum Psalmen, also entweder 66 oder 62.
62 it is.
62. Psalm 62,
Let's read verse 4.
Vers 4.
It says, they only consult to cast him down from his excellency. They delight in lies. They bless with their mouth, but they curse inwardly. So, what does it mean here?
So, was heißt das?
What can you do?
They're hiding things in your heart.
They're
Yes.
not pure.
So they're not pure in heart,
Also
right?
die verbergen Sachen in ihrem Herzen, die sind nicht reines Herzens.
Okay, because the Lord knows our hearts. Okay,
Und der Herr, der kennt unsere Herzen.
and we can, in a sense, make this outward. How are you?
Und wir können dieses äußerliches Schein so gut schauspielern. So, wie geht's dir? Alles schön heute und so weiter.
You can't do it.
God bless you.
You can't do it as well as that guy.
Yes. So sweet. But this is very serious, okay?
Aber das ist sehr ernst hier.
Yes.
Because I caught myself doing it many times.
Denn ich habe mich dabei ertappt, dass ich es selber öfters getan
My
habe.
heart is not pure.
Mein Herz ist nicht rein.
And I need all this here.
Und ich brauche all das hier.
I need a poor in spirit, I need to mourn, I need to be meek. I need to hunger and thirst after righteousness. I need a merciful spirit, and I need to be pure in heart.
Also ich muss arm im Geist sein, ich muss wehklagen, ich muss barmherzig sein, ich muss hungern und dürsten nach Christi Gerechtigkeit, ich muss Gnade üben und ich muss rein im Herzen sein.
So all these things are just, we are all guilty of these things. Okay?
Also wir sind alle diese Dinge schuldig.
And basically the Lord shows us every open sin needs to be put away before we come here.
Und der Herr zeigt uns, dass jede offene Sünde muss weggetan werden, bis wir hier ankommen.
And then here every known secret sin. Okay.
Und dann hier jeder bekannte geheime Sünde auch.
Okay. Because everything that is in your heart will be manifested here.
Denn alles, was du im Herzen hast, wird hier geoffenbart werden.
And if you have any malice or any falsity or anything in your heart that you haven't done right with God's help, it will be manifested here.
Wenn du irgendwas, Bitterkeit oder sonst was im Herzen hast, was du nicht mit Gottes Hilfe beiseite geräumt hast, es wird hier geoffenbart werden.
Okay, so, but if you have a pure heart, in here the Lord pronounces His blessing upon you.
Aber wenn du reines Herzens hast, hier in diese Zeitperiode, der Herr verheißt sein Segen auf dich.
So that's the positive
Das
thing.
ist das Plusseite.
So we just need to purify our hearts, and then we will receive the blessing.
Also wir müssen nur unserem Herzen reinigen und dann werden wir das Segen erhalten.
So it's actually wonderful news, okay?
Also das an sich ist wunderbares Nachrichten.
And because if our heart is pure, then we are truly free.
Wenn unserem Herz rein ist, dann sind wir wahrlich frei.
And then we can also go to the cross.
Dann können wir freilich zum Kreuz gehen.
But if our heart is not pure, there will be something that we don't want to give up, and then we don't want to go to the cross.
Aber wenn unserem Herzen nicht rein ist, dann werde es irgendetwas geben, was wir nicht aufgeben werden wollen, und wir werden dementsprechend nicht zum Kreuz gehen wollen.
And then we see not the blessing comes upon us, but the curse.
Und dann werden wir nicht das Segen auf uns kommen sehen, sondern das Fluch.
Okay, let's go to Matthew 5.
Matthäus 5 wieder
Then verse 9.
und Vers 9.
It says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God." Okay, so we need to be peacemakers.
Wir
Okay?
müssen auch noch Friedenstiftern sein.
So I know that Sister White, she says, in this time here, there will come up so many rumors, okay?
Also ich weiß, dass Ellen White sagt, dass in dieser Zeitperiode hier, es wird so viele Gerüchte aufkommen.
That somebody said this, apparently, and all these things, okay?
Also jemand hat das gesagt und jemand hat dies getan und all diese solche Sachen. Also wird Dreck geworfen.
So, and she says, basically, because of these rumors, many friendships will be divided, okay, and will be destroyed.
Und sie sagt, aufgrund von dieser Gerüchte, die hier aufkommen, viele Freundschaften und viele Verbindungen werden zerstört sein.
And people will lose their faith because they hear, for instance, this person did this and this.
Und Menschen werden ihren Glauben verlieren, weil sie gehört haben, dass diese Person dies oder sonst was getan hat.
Okay, so, but we must be these peacemakers, even though they might bring in the worst false slander and rumors against us.
Aber wir müssen diesen Friedenstiftern sein, trotz der Tatsache, dass die möglicherweise das Schlimmste an Gerüchte und Lügen und Falschereien gegen uns bringen werden.
Especially when you've got no way of proving anything and your brethren are going to take your word for it.
Also ich weiß, wie das ist. Du hast keine Möglichkeit, irgendetwas zu beweisen und deine Geschwister müssen einfach mal dein Wort nehmen, so wie es ist.
And the most terrible thing is when you have people that you really like, and they then believe these lies about you.
Das Schreckliche ist, wenn du Menschen hast, die du wahrlich magst, aber die glauben diese Falschereien, die über dir gesprochen worden sind.
And because of this, they go into darkness.
Und deswegen gehen sie in die Dunkelheit hinein.
But you must be willing to forgive.
Aber du musst bereit und willig sein, zu vergeben.
And you must be willing to forgive this person that might have caused, I don't know, your mother, your daughter, your husband or your wife to be lost.
Du musst
Okay.
bereit sein, der Person zu vergeben, der durch ihren Falschereien verursacht haben, dass deine Frau oder dein Ehemann oder dein Vater, Mutter, Tochter oder wer auch immer, dein Freund, ewig verloren gegangen ist.
I think of these things many times.
Und ich denke über solche Sachen öfters nach.
But they have to choose also. They don't have to choose to listen to those. They don't have to listen to those things, but they choose to listen to them.
Also diejenigen, die verloren gehen, also die sind nicht gezwungen, solche Sachen zuzuhören, weil sie die hören freilich.
Yes.
Also die machen eine Wahl.
And I remember last Sabbath, like 1 week ago,
Und ich erinnere, Sabbat vor einer Woche,
went for a walk with Sister Margaret also.
ich bin spazieren mit Schwester Margaret gegangen,
When we all went for a
als wir alle
walk.
gemeinsam spazieren gingen.
And she told me about this communistic time back then.
Und sie hat mich über diese Zeit des Kommunismus erzählt.
And how people were basically, they were put in prison.
Wie Menschen ins Gefängnis gebracht worden sind.
And then they were fed with all these lies, you know, that, I don't know, the wife died or she forsook the faith, or, and you didn't know whether it was true or not what they told you.
Haben
Okay.
dir mit allen möglichen Lügen gegengebracht, also deine Frau ist gestorben oder sie hat den Glauben abgesagt und du wusstest gar nichts, was wahr und falsch war.
And the intention was basically, obviously, to break you. Okay.
Und der Absicht war natürlich, dich zum Brechpunkt zu bringen.
So all these things, they will come upon us. Okay.
Und all diese Dinge werden auf uns gebracht werden.
So even though it's a type, it will be a terrible test. Okay.
So, selbst wenn es nur ein Typus ist hier, es wird dennoch eine schreckliche Test.
And the
sein.
only thing what you can really hold on to is God's word.
Und das Einzige, woran wir wirklich klammern können, ist das Wort Gottes.
And you must know the principles how to deal with these situations.
Und wir müssen die Prinzipien wohl wissen, wie wir mit diesen Umständen umgehen.
Okay. And one point is you must be a peacemaker. It doesn't matter what they do to you.
Ein Punkt ist, dass wir ein Friedensstifter sein müssen, egal was sie uns antun werden.
Okay. And we read already verse 10 to 12.
Die Verse 10 bis 12 haben wir bereits
It
gelesen.
says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you." Okay, so therefore you can see we will be persecuted.
Also wir können sehen, dass wir unter Verfolgung kommen werden.
And we will be slandered, right?
Und unsere Namen werden in den Dreck gezogen.
For whose sake?
So wessen Willen?
For Christ's sake.
Christi Willen.
And what does it mean?
Und was heißt das?
Yeah, because we walk in His commandments. Okay.
Weil wir wandeln nach seinen Geboten.
But Sister White, she also has a quote.
Aber Ellen White hat auch ein Zitat.
Because for every true, there's also a counterfeit, right?
Für jede Wahrheit, es gibt auch eine Fälschung.
She has a quote where a group of fanatics, they didn't follow God's word.
Also sie hat ein Zitat, wo eine Gruppe von Fanatikern, die haben Gottes Wort nicht befolgt.
And therefore they were, people disgusted them for their fanaticism. Okay?
Und dadurch haben sie wirklich, die Leute haben sie verabscheut wegen ihres Fanatismus.
And then they said, right, look, we are now persecuted and slandered for Christ's sake. Okay.
Und weil die Menschen sie verabscheut haben wegen ihrem Fanatismus, die haben denen gesagt, so, schau mal, wir sind verfolgt um Christi Willen.
And so that's Satan's counterfeit.
Das ist Satans Fälschung.
It says here, blessed are you if you're persecuted and slandered for Christ's sake.
Steht hier, gesegnet bist du, wenn du verfolgt bist und zu Schande gemacht worden bist, um Christi willen.
That means you follow every word of God.
Das heißt, dass du folgst jeder Wort Gottes.
Okay, but if you persecuted and slandered for breaking God's law, that's no blessing upon you. Okay.
Aber wenn du verfolgt wirst und weil du Gottes Gesetz gebrochen hast, also das ist sicherlich kein Segen für dich.
Okay, so therefore, we can see that the Lord in this time, He will fit us up for this crisis that will come upon us.
So, auf jeden Fall können wir sehen, dass der Herr in dieser Zeitperiode, er wird uns aufrüsten für diese Zeit, die auf uns kommen wird.
Yeah, he gives us this Sermon on the Mount. He instructs us that when this time comes, we can manifest His character.
Also er gibt uns diesen Bergpredigt hier und baut uns auf, so wenn diese Zeit hier kommt, dass wir seinen Charakter manifestieren können.
That we can be poor in spirit, that we can mourn for all these abominations, that we can be meek.
Also dass wir arm in Geist sind, dass wir wehklagen für all diese Gräueltaten, dass wir sanftmütig sein können,
That we can hunger and thirst after righteousness,
dass wir hungern und dürsten nach Gerechtigkeit,
that we have a merciful, forgiving spirit,
dass wir eine barmherzige, vergebende Geist haben,
that we are pure in heart without any faults in our hearts.
dass wir pur im Herzen sind, ohne Makeln im Herz,
That we are peacemakers,
dass wir Friedensstiftern sind
and that we endure this persecution and this slander for Christ's sake.
und dass wir diese Verfolgung und diese in Dreck gezogen werden, um Christi willen ausharren.
Therefore, it's just my suggestion, it's always good to go back and read this Sermon on the Mount, because it's so full of instruction.
So es ist nur mein Vorschlag, dass wir immer wieder diesen Bergpredigt lesen, denn es lehrt uns vieles über das, was kommen wird.
Yes. And also for our daily walk already today.
Und natürlich auch für unsere tägliche Wandeln heute bereits.
Okay. Yes?
I still have a question. We were speaking about the 120.
So, ich habe eine Frage bezüglich der 120.
And my question is the 120 which received the Holy Spirit in Pentecost, they were also going through this.
Meine Frage ist, die 120, die Heilige Geist am Pfingsten erhalten haben, sind sie auch durch diese Erfahrung hindurch?
You mean this experience or this experience or
I don't
what?
Where when they received the Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit marked has been filled, where it's marked there is being poured out, is midnight, is this.
Yes.
Also der Heilige Geist, wo es ausgegossen wird, ist hier am Mitternacht.
I mean, in this sense, it's one time it's marked here, but it's also in this illustration perfectly then for the first group here or here.
Also es ist auch hier markiert in dieser Darstellung, aber für die erste Gruppe ist auch hier und da markiert.
But the animals given on the ark was a glorious manifestation of God's power.
Aber die Tiere, die auf die Arche gingen, das war eine herrliche Manifestation der Kraft Gottes.
I mean, there's definitely an outpouring of the Spirit here. I mean, the heavens were opened.
Also auf jeden Fall gibt es eine Ausgießung des Heiligen Geistes hier. Die Himmel wurden geöffnet.
Okay, so could everybody follow?
Konnte jeder folgen?
Okay, so may the Lord impress our hearts with these things and that we don't forget them, but follow them.
Also möge der Herr uns mit diesen Dingen unserem Herzen beeindrucken, dass wir sie befolgen und nicht vergessen.
Okay.
Amen.
Amen. Let's close in prayer.
Lasst uns die Gebetsstunde abschließen.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you also for this evening study. And we ask that you may help us to have this forgiving spirit, to forgive our enemies and even our greatest enemies, and please help us to come closer to you and help us to keep our eyes fixed on you and to do not look at the circumstances with which we're tested. And bless also this evening and be also with our brothers and sisters wherever they are. Last, I thank you, Jesus' name. Amen.
Dear Father in heaven, I want to thank you for these instructions. Help us to apply them in our personal lives. And I want to ask you to help us in our studies. And that we will be able to give the truth further, but first to learn it ourselves. And please help our brothers and sisters who need to come out of the cities, help them in their perplexities. And we thank you for everything you've done to be with us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Father in heaven, we want to thank you for the study this evening, and that you show us what we need for our characters to enter into heaven. And we ask for these spiritual fruits that you give them unto us. Help us to be meek like Christ, be humble, without self. We pray that you would cleanse our hearts and make them pure, so that there would be nothing that hinders us, that Satan would find nothing within us. I pray that you would remove all these illuminations, help us to be willing to let go of things we hold on to. And we ask that you would give us your grace for it. Pray that you would keep us this evening, that your blessing would be on us, all our sisters and brothers in this movement. In Jesus' name, amen.
Dear Father, thank you for words and instructions. Please help us to come up higher, to give us a spirit of love and forgiveness, and please help us also to pray more for each other. Thank you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Lord Jesus, you know there are so terrible time before us, and thank you so much that we can have the truth, that we can have an anchor where we can hold on. I thank you that you are giving us a strength, that we can be a light for the one which don't have starlight, and I pray that you will give us also the humility, and also that we can be meek and lowly in heart, that we can be changed into your image. Lord, I pray that you will help us to become a seed for others, that many can see how precious your word is, how precious you are, the only God. And I pray that you will help us to be also kind to each other, and that we are having a loving spirit to each other, and that we can be the light you want us to be. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, please help us to think on this counsel, to obey it. Please search our hearts and know us, and try our thoughts, and see if there be any wicked way in us, and lead us in the way everlasting. As you reveal the idols that are lurking in our hearts, Lord, as you reveal the things that are wrong in our lives, I pray that we would confess them before you, and claim the promise that if we confess our sins, that you are faithful and just to forgive us our sin and cleanse us of all unrighteousness. And believe that you will do that, Lord, and believe that you will reveal the things that are hidden in our secret chambers, and likewise, Lord, that you will give us grace to conquer them, because you promise to give us grace for every time of need, and where sin abounds, grace much more abounds. So please help us to take those promises, believe them, to go forward, and to trust and believe that you came to save us, to cleanse us, to make this temple pure, that you can come and dwell within. So Lord, please Help us to make a quick work in everything you show us to claim the promises that are freely offered to us, that our hearts might be pure and that you might dwell in us for eternity. And may this be each one of our desires. And we thank you in this in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of life and the privilege of being here, the privilege of being called, the privilege of hearing these wonderful truths, Lord, and how you're showing us the things that are about to take place. And Father, I ask also for the grace to recognize the sins in our lives that must be put away, and especially these secret idols, Lord, that need to be put away. Please help us to see them and identify them clearly, and please give us the grace, the mercy, the will, the desire, and the ability to put these things away, Lord, that when we come to these respective times before us, that there would be nothing found in us, that our hearts would be pure. Father, please help us to do your will. Please work in us to will and to do of thy good pleasure. Please give us enmity, that we would hate what you hate and love what you love, that we would desire to obey you, that we would desire to please you, and that we would be offended, Lord, when things are done against thee. I ask and pray that you would help us even now, Lord, to exercise meekness and humility, to exercise love and kindness, to exercise a spirit that won't retaliate, Lord, that doesn't rise, that's not defensive, but that is willing to endure and to suffer for your name's sake, that is willing to love our brothers and sisters, Lord, because you say that love covers a multitude of sins. I ask and pray that you would help us not to cast light upon the faults of others, Lord, but to hide them where possible. Not hide them in the sense that we would agree with them and try to put away with them, but hide them from allowing bitterness in our hearts to come in our hearts. So please bless us, Lord, and please help us to prepare for this crisis that's coming upon us, that we would exercise these things in our daily lives here and now amongst each other. Help us to press together and give us that brotherly love that we need, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Dear Father in heaven, I want to praise you for your great faithfulness. And thank you for your word. I want to thank you, Jesus, for these wonderful words. And Father, I want to ask you for this spirit of forgiveness, that we are willing to forgive everything. And many times I have to think about how much am I willing to forgive. Where's the border? And Lord, I just want to ask you that you help me and my brothers and sisters to forgive everything that might come against us or against somebody else whom we love. We ask you, Lord, that you please help us to be Christ-like, to plead for our enemies, to not hate one another but to love our enemies, and obviously also our own brothers and sisters. Lord, we commit this in your hands. We ask for this Spirit of Christ, because if we are filled with His Spirit, how much more would things change? How much more power would your truth have, and how much more the life would progress? And therefore, please help us, Father, and please bring us to this point of full surrender, that we are fully surrendered to your will and allow you to make every decision in our lives, because you love us and you only have the best interest for us and you know everything best. And therefore, help us to trust you and take our trembling hands and take them and hold them firm, that we can see the great salvation of God. So please bless us as a ministry, please bless your people, and please help us in this time that is before us, that we don't forget you, but that we love you and that we keep your commandments until the end. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Dear Father in heaven, I want to thank you also for all these promises. I want to ask you that you would please help us to gather loyal, to to go forward, to pass the tests that are before us, and to arrive to the end and receive all these blessings. I want to ask you that you will also please help us not to focus our minds on the evil things on this earth or all the evil things on our heart, but to concentrate our minds on the truth, on this message, which is Christ, in order to have joy in this life, and help us please to understand how it's to be a Christian, how to live a Christian life with joy, to see the beauty of a Christian life and not just the sorrows. Help us to overcome our mindset, our human mindset, I mean. And please bless all the movement and bless preferably the movement with correct understanding of your character and which is your word. In Jesus' name, amen.
Father in heaven, we want to pray that you help us in our endeavors, help us to strive to enter in the straight gate. We pray for your Holy Spirit that we will be anointed with it, that we can become your sons, and that we have the witness in ourselves that we have followed the truth, not fables. And please help us to prepare ourselves and to know what things will come upon us, that when the trials come, that we will not fall away and betray others, or also that we will not suffer like ambitious hypocrites. And help us to, if we suffer, that we do it in your name, and please help us that we cherish these things above all others, that we know for sure that we are yours. In Jesus' name, amen.
Father, thank you for all these instructions. Especially we also thank you for the grace that you provide for us that we can do these things. Help us to use it and to come up to the standards set before us. Pray that you help us to have a desire and a love for heavenly things. And that the third English message may always be in our minds, hearts, Lord. Pray that you help us to forsake all evil way, and may you lead us in everlasting righteousness. Ask for those who need to leave the cities, to provide a way, and put all these things before you. Thank you for this in Jesus' name.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you Lord for everything you want to do for us in the future also, and I pray that you please help us to prepare for the times that are coming soon. I pray that you help us that we might choose the path that you set before us, and I pray that you help us to leave everything unnecessary in our lives behind. I pray that you please forgive us of all our mistakes and sins that we make, and I pray that you give us the strength to remove them from our lives. I pray that you please help us to have a stronger character in you, and pray that you please help each and every one of us in our personal problems or struggles. And thank you for everything you do for us, and that you listen to our prayers in the name of Jesus. Amen.